Welcome viewers, this is Tags of the Black Pants Legion. Now this is an interview. I've spoken with admins, hosts, developers, and other creatives behind Spacestation 13 before, and they are notoriously antisocial types who generally don't like to talk with or at people for prolonged periods of time, as they are judge, jury, and executioner on a server, and can't be seen demonstrating favoritism, at least in theory. Anyways, here's how this works. I'm putting out an open call to any and all Spacestation 13 admins on any public-listed servers. This call is here, so answer it. If you're interested in answering or participating in an interview about Spacestation 13, its history, and your server, please respond. See the description below for an email contact. I'll try to get to you and we can set something up. That being said, this is an interview with a Spacestation 13 admin. The questions are largely freeform and the discussion does not reflect exactly the policy of the server unless stated otherwise by the person I'm interviewing. The reason I say this is I want to encourage an admin to be frank, honest, and open about their experiences without worrying that they're shitting on their server or to prevent them from being yelled at for representing the server community in a bad way. This is a point of view and not, I repeat, not an absolute definition of doctrine on said server. That being said, I welcome our first interviewee of the evening. Please, internet person, tell me your name, you wish to go by, your server, and your admin rank.
Hi there, my name is Shockin' Bill. I'm on Goonstation. And on Goonstation, we've got a bunch of ranks, but I'm the rank of shit person.
Shit person.
Shit person. It used to be shit guy, but we're fighting heteronormative ideals, and we're going with shit person.
So it was shit guy.
It used to be shit guy, now it's shit person.
Shit person. Okay.
Yeah, so there's like secondary admin, primary admin, shit person, coder, kind of that general rank.
So what is the difference between a primary admin, a secondary admin, and then a shit person? Is it how much
it's
shit?
It's how many buttons you get.
Okay. See, I can understand that. I'm just trying to grasp. I'm trying to let us
Firmly
use a literary
grasp.
term.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm using the literary term. I'm trying to grok the understanding of, No, I can't use Highline. Fine. All right, so tell us about your server. Tell us about beloved old Goonstation, as much of its history as you care to, and what makes it unique.
Goonstation is an enigma wrapped in a mystery. There is no actual way to describe Goonstation except that it's a chaotic, screaming, farting mass of people, ideas, and otherwise shit. I literally cannot describe it any further than that.
Okay, if Goonstation was a car, what kind of car would Goonstation be?
Something on fire.
Okay, see, now I'm getting visual image, starting to draw this out. Okay.
It doesn't even matter what kind of car it is, it's on fire.
Okay. Why should a player play on your station, and what makes it interesting?
So there's like 3 things about Goonstation that makes Goonstation Goonstation. Well, Goonstation. So It's got this reputation for being cryptic, a mystery, this really oddball, hard mode sort of server. But there's really ultimately 3 things that makes Goonstation worth playing. First is chaos. Goonstation is known for being kind of off the wall, crazy, where anything can happen. For example, you could see this misshapen ambulatory Elmo character come up to your window, knock on, and be like, "Let me in!" And then you can decide whether you want to let Elmo in or not. It's stuff that you aren't expecting happening all the time. Second thing is about, creation. So one of the big things about Goonstation is that a lot of its secrets are just that. It's all secrets. For example, you might not know this, but Goonstation has a really in-depth backstory. The problem is that we don't put it up on wikis. They're literally adventure zones where you can wander about and uncover the mysteries of the universe around you. And then finally, which is probably the best part about Goonstation, is that collaboration inevitably happens. So, for example, those secrets I told you about in the adventure zones, those were uncovered by a bunch of dorks known as soul nerds who wanted to uncover the mysteries of the world around them and so naturally congregated together to unravel the secrets of Goonstation. So that's kind of the 3 reasons right there. Chaos, collaboration, creation.
All right. So, Goonstation is summed up as an interesting place and well worth your time, but only if perhaps you are mad enough to do so.
That's absolutely correct. If you're willing to, if you're willing to be crazy and actually join the madness and actively create madness, you'll have a good time.
So, what is the most common thing that new players ask about your station?
Like in an admin help or
Yeah, admin, forums. I mean, what is the common thing you hear from new arrivals?
usually the first thing I hear when I'm reading mentor helps or admin helps is help, how do I use my hands?
Okay.
The second thing that I hear, which is very common, is why is there so much farting and screaming? So one of the things about Goon Station is that the noise travels.
Yes.
Someone could be screaming or farting off screen, and you will hear them. You can actually hear someone getting murdered in a hallway just across the way. If you hear an explosion, there is literally like you give it 2 seconds, everyone screams in the vicinity. So you'll hear, ah!
I'm
It's
loving the
great.
sound effects.
It's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. God, I'm trying to think of what else new players tend to ask. It's usually minor stuff like that, but one of my favorite things to do with new players is say, "Hello, it's new Captain Day," or "Hello, it's new whoever's day." I'll be like, "Hello, this guy just joined the server. It's a new training day for this employee. Everyone gather around and help him out." Which is always good because everyone then descends upon that poor player and they give him a memorable experience.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it gives them certainly a goon experience.
It's a clown carve activity.
Yes.
Because, I mean, yes, the player does learn, but it's a little worrying when 10 people immediately descend upon you and are just like, hello, we heard you knew.
Yeah.
What you do?
That's where it gets a little crazy. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
the asylum meeting the new arrival.
It's great. That's
It
actually
is.
a pretty good description of the Goonstation right there.
I've played off and on for a while, and I've had to share very interesting experiences.
I played for 9 years now.
Ancient goon.
Yeah.
So, why are you an admin on said server, and what made you volunteer your time?
So Goonstation kind of has a really interesting approach to admins. If you want to be admin, you don't get to be admin. I hope that makes sense. So, for example, the way that I got recruited, essentially because I was helping out with another player, I had a reputation in game for being extremely helpful. And so myself, along with another player known as My Blue Corners, we got selected, aka drafted, to join the admin team because we were willing to, try and teach other people how to play. And this was before we had mentors or anything like that. So that's how I kind of accidentally became admin. They said, "Hey, you want to do it?" And I said, "Yes."
So, just put in the place where you were naturally doing something, and let's see if it sticks.
Yeah, it was kind of like that. It's just like you just keep being you. You're now an admin.
All right.
I mean, like on other servers, you apply to become admin. On Goonstation, you just get conscripted.
So, what would you say is the hardest part about being an admin on Goonstation?
The hardest part about being an admin on the Goonstation server is the Wizard of Oz effect. So, the best way to describe the Wizard of Oz effect, so like everyone's familiar with the Wizard of Oz. It's like, oh my God, this guy is so powerful. He's so mysterious. Holy shit. And then, you look behind the curtain and it's just some gangly nerd, pulling sticks and shit. The thing about admin is that it kind of robs the game of its magic, of its, mystery. It's kind of like being an orderly in the asylum. It's
Yeah.
not a fun job to be an orderly in the asylum. And
I
then over
mean,
time, you start to drift from the player base. The mechanics change, and so you just kind of become a terrible player over time unless you, play obsessively, that sort of thing. And then you just naturally drift, I guess.
very philosophical.
Yeah.
So, what do you think are the greatest challenges with Space Station 13 today, or at least from the perspective of your server?
Uh, wow. I have no idea. I mean, if I had to kind of hazard a guess about Space Station 13, it's the idea that someone could ever replicate it. Like, there's always someone being like, I'm going to remake this game. Like, take Super Norn, right? Super Norn had this dream that he was going to remake the game with a whole bunch of other guys. And, like, every single other Space Station 13 remake out there, it kind of just died like a wet fart, right?
Yeah, I mean there is Dean Hall who played on Paradise, I think approximately once, and then said that he was gonna create Ion, was it? And
Yep.
then that fell apart really badly, and now he's doing Stationeers or something else.
I don't think that's the thing. I don't think it's, it's not necessarily. Actually, yeah, I'm going to summarize it. Trying to recreate Space Station 13 as truly Space Station 13 is something that is destined for failure. Space Station 13 is a game based on hundreds of people's ideas slowly being crammed together to make this Katamari style ball of a game where random components are shoved together and it just works in the end.
All right, so a Gestalt consciousness of screams and farts and clown horns,
Yes, yes, yes. And ideas.
and someone's a traitor.
Okay, so that's one of the things about that. That's what makes Space Station 13 Space Station 13. It's the traitor, like that antagonist role, the ability to make a story as an antagonist. Space Station 13 is fundamentally a game without purpose. The antagonist is what makes it fun. It's one of the reasons why the ship is fun. It's one of the reasons why Trouble in Terrorist Town is fun, except you can almost go for a full simulationist experience in Space Station 13.
Right.
I'm not saying it's a real life simulator. It's just unless a farty spaceman becomes the future, in which case I don't want that future. But
Well, who wants a farty spaceman future, right?
I don't know, man. Someone could want it.
I mean, is
Someone could
Elon
really
Musk
want it.
working on something that we don't know?
Ah, yeah, old Muskie.
Old is that what the goons call
No,
Elon?
literally, no one calls him that.
Okay, I'm just because I know goons have their own language and everything
Dude,
else.
he's literally got the word. He's got the word Musk in his name.
Well, yeah, but he's also a super genius bordering on supervillain, which is where the issue is. Like, you want to mock him, but you know he's got robots.
I'm not gonna mock him. He's the future.
But old Muskie. Ah, old
Old
Muskie,
Muskie.
like you were
Old
college
Muskie.
chums or something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what is your opinion on people who play on your server and record? And what about those who stream? That's becoming popular to stream and record this, apparently.
I think that's the nature of the video game medium right there, which is, doing let's plays or streaming and then providing commentary on a video game. And then, I mean, I've already expressed this opinion to other people before, but I fundamentally don't think that Space Station 13 lends itself to a streaming experience. The best way to experience Space Station 13 is to join in the madness itself.
To
or
plunge
to
your
at least-
hands into the medium.
Yes, it's like theater. It's like improvisational theater. I know it's like, for example, but everyone in the audience is part of it,
Right.
right? All the world's a stage,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. Except you get to do your role on Space Station 13. When you kind of absolve yourself of that and you just watch from behind a screen, you're robbing yourself of the essential experience of Space Station 13, which is, creating all those dozens of little stories that all amalgamate into one somewhat cohesive narrative that eventually leads to round end. It's
So
like
what
the
you're-
butterfly effect.
Oh, I understand what you're saying. I've played a few rounds. But what you're telling people is rather than watch a YouTuber or a streamer, you need to plunge headfirst into this mayhem, into this
Yes.
cycle of cast of characters, of situations and scenarios,
Yes.
and to become
100%.
a player.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not saying don't stream or don't watch your favorite whoever, record.
But this is better.
Yes, because it's like the difference between watching, like Dungeons and Dragons or playing a character in Dungeons and Dragons.
No, I'm with you. I had some friends who said, "Don't you want to watch the guys from Penny Arcade play Dungeons and Dragons?" And I said, "I would rather play Dungeons and Dragons."
Bingo.
Because I'd rather have that sort of fun myself than watch someone vicariously have fun.
And that is quintessentially my point.
I understand it. I understand it. What is your opinion on metacoms and meta friends?
Oh boy. So, first, I kind of have to go with the station rules on this one. So, out of game communication is a really sticky subject. Chatting with friends is all right, but using it to your advantage is a serious no-no. The reason why is because, so I mentioned the ship and Trouble in Terrorist Town, right? What makes those games fun?
Well, what makes those games fun is you don't know whether that person next to you is a good person or someone harboring mischief in their heart.
Exactly, and it
Player
is
versus
entirely
paranoia.
It's entirely yes, that's it. Space Station 13 is all about paranoia. It's a game that's entirely built upon lies, deception, and only having partial knowledge of any situation at any given time. You've played Mafia or Werewolf or whatever it is, right?
I played a lot of these sorts of games, and I understand the concept of the unknown and
Yeah.
using that of the greatest human abilities, duplicity, which is our strong suit as a
Like,
species.
how do you feel about people who peek during the murder time in Mafia? Like
I
if they peek.
I I yeah, I understand what you're getting at.
Exactly. You defeat the purpose of the game.
Correct.
I mean, you're playing to win at that point, and that undermines the entire point of Space Station 13.
Well,
The point of
that's
Space
yeah.
Station, it's not to win. It's to have fun. It's about creating stories.
And I understand what you're saying. In some Space Station 13 servers, you find that there's very much a power gamey, valid hunty mechanic,
Yep.
and in others, you find that it's more about what zany, crazy bullshit can we have with this 45 minutes we have together.
It's the story about how that station falls apart,
Right,
essentially.
right. I get you. Now, what do you think makes a good admin good?
Whatever I do, don't do it.
Okay, okay, I get it. What do you think makes a good or bad admin bad?
Whatever I do it.
Okay. No,
But more seriously, a good admin is someone who is patient. Honestly, patient. Because a lot of things that kind of arise out of admin helps over time is a genuine misunderstanding of the game, or sometimes maliciousness. And the best way to discern as to whether it's ignorance or maliciousness is patience.
right, to
And
determine
just
whether or not
chatting
it's
it
an
out.
accident or I just want to murder the shit out of these people and I can't stand the way they talk.
That's a bingo.
So, on the nature, and this is where perhaps good admin judgment would come in, on the nature of balance between shitcurity and the gray tide, what's your opinion on how to maintain said balance?
I know this has been a long-standing sort of conversation on Goonstation, which is the role of security. I honestly don't know what the right balance is. If you go heavy-handed in support of security, you're only enabling, pretty terrible behavior. With shitlers basically beating people with batons.
Yeah, you
If
get a
you
bunch
fight,
of judged reds very quickly.
yes, and that kind of again, like for example, Space Station is about zaniness. Imagine the no fun police marched everywhere and stopped all fun.
Yeah, pick up that can citizen is a lot less fun than Barney Calhoun going, hey, where are you going with that uranium?
Exactly. So how about that beer, Gordon?
What, did you give him a southern accent? Like, is your recollection of Half-Life?
I play the video games, I swear.
No, I'm not doubting you in the slightest. It's just, I thought perhaps your recollection of Half-Life is that Barney Calhoun is this southern gentleman. How about that beer, Mr. Freeman?
Mr. Freeman, please drink this beer.
Oh my god. Yeah, no.
Please.
All right.
This game took place at Aperture Science, right?
All
Yeah.
right. No. All right. Okay.
I'm just ruining this, aren't I?
No, it's funny. It's funny, and that's
All right.
what's.
Sorry. See,
No,
I'm good.
it's okay. It's okay. I mean, everyone has to be true to their own nature.
Oh yeah.
In your own opinion, what is the best AI law set you have ever seen, including character created ones?
Oh God. So we use the standard three laws on Goonstation.
Asimov, yes.
Yeah. Um, the best law, I can't think of the best law that was ever uploaded, but if you give the AI something fun to do, you've made the AI's world even better. Not like a law like, only blank is human.
Right.
Give them a fun law. Give them something to play around with.
Right.
Like there's like this generic law that comes up from time to time with an ion storm, which is report false disturbances everywhere from time to time. So you get to make shit up and be like, oh my god, what is that? It's in medical. Holy shit, it's eating people. Oh my god, and then people will show up and it's like, AI, there's nothing here, and it's just like, oh my god, it's on the move. It's in the fence.
Right. And knowing Goonstation, they start taking the station apart to find.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like it's about enabling another player to have fun. If you do
Right.
that with like, well, I mean, like the worst kind of, as I said, worst kind of AI law is being like AI kill yourself or AI kill this person. That's boring. Give the AI something fun to do because it's kind of really boring to be an AI.
I mean, I'm not in any sort of expert, but I agree with you. I mean, I think the best I ever did was I told an AI that you must speak the jive.
That's perfect. What it's just like, hello, city slicker.
Yeah, no, it's just like, yo,
Yeah.
mama, we got a problem in engineering.
See, that's exactly it. You nailed it.
Yeah, well, I mean, but have you ever seen any that really stuck out as being like just magnificent?
Not that I can immediately think of. If I remember, I'll be sure to pipe up.
All right. What is the best traitor you've ever seen as an admin? I mean, just an antag that was amazing.
Um, my absolute favorite antagonist was Dr. Cogworks back in his day when he used to actually, be a traitor. One of my favorite gimmicks that he ever did was there used to be an old station called Donut 2. Donut 2 had a very interesting escape hallway that, kind of just went up and then to the west, and it was just this long, continuous hallway. One of the things that Dr. Cogworks did was, spray. He used to hide in a floor closet. So a floor closet is a closet you can hide in. It blends in perfectly with the floor. He used to spray space lube everywhere, but before he did that, he removed all the windows and the grills at the end of the hallway.
Right.
So if someone was to, run along, well, he'd also set the bait. So he'd, put like a rare trader item just slightly further down the hallway from where the space loop was, and then he would space loop the entire hallway. So every time the escape shuttle got called, people would just run up the hallway, see the item, go for it, and then they would just slide out into space. It was so simple and it was so effective. It
I
was
imagine.
beautiful
I imagine.
because you would hear people on the radio being like, "Ah!"
Just
It was so
briefly.
good. Yeah.
So, what is by and large the worst antag you've ever seen?
Um. So the worst antagonist that I've ever seen. I'm not going to name their name. I really am not
Yeah, you don't have to
because
name their name. I'm just saying, like, what is the sort of thing they would do?
I mean the reason why is because I don't want to immortalize a shitty behavior.
Ah,
Literally, the only thing that this guy did in Space Station 13 was murder people. If he didn't roll traitor, he would go AFK. He would just disconnect, wait until the next round. If he did get the antagonist, all he would do is run around and silently kill people. He was very good at it, but he never interacted with anyone ever except to kill them.
so it was just a pure mechanics kill, but no interesting gimmick or anything to it.
Exactly. He was playing to win. He wasn't making anything fun. He was just killing people. The thing about the antagonist is that you get to be the plot of the round.
Right. You're the knife in the dark.
Yeah.
You're that stab in the back. You're the guy in Hunt for Red October that kills the silent drive. You know, you're the saboteur.
You're the twist in the plot.
Right.
Yeah.
You're the MacGuffin stealer and eater, perhaps.
You get to make the story. It's pretty awesome. So in summary, yeah.
Okay. So what is the best and what is your favorite round of Space Station 13 you've ever played in or witnessed?
The ones that I've played in as a player, there's a difference between the ones that I've played in as an admin and the ones that I've played in as a player.
That's fine, and you can answer all of the above.
To summarize, the ones that I was a player, this is back on Donut 2, the admins had a round in which Gabe Newell from Steam visited the station. Except Gabe Newell was just a reskinned head of Gabe Newell, and he functioned essentially like a black hole, in that anyone who got near Gabe Newell got eaten. So at first, the crew tried to fight him, and that didn't work because one, he ate them. People would just close distance with Gabe Newell, and then he'd eat them. So then people would try shooting him, and turns out you can't shoot Gabe Newell. And then people tried to bomb him. And that doesn't work because now you're making holes in the station, killing everyone else, and now he's just eating your bodies. But then someone figured out the weakness to Gabe Newell. Back in the day, there used to be a weight loss shake in the vending machines.
Yeah.
Someone literally threw that at him. And what the admins had done is that they had done something not Homestuck, Problem Sleuth-esque with the health bars at the top of the screen.
Yeah.
Someone threw the weight loss shake at him, and the health bar went down. And people were like, holy shit, oh my god, we found the secret. But by then, it didn't really matter because Gabe Newell had eaten so many things on the station that he reached critical mass and started consuming everything. And it kind of just ended with Gabe Newell eating everything. That's as a player, like that was a round that happened a long time ago. Like I'm talking like 6 years ago, but I still remember it because it was so distinctly funny. Because everyone would be like, "Oh my god, we can't stop him. He's eating everything." Otherwise, my favorite rounds as admin is honestly the court dramas that can happen.
Yeah.
When Goonstation, no, you have no idea. It's so good. There are transcripts of amazing Goonstation court dramas in which everyone contains the chaos for a moment to host a very serious court drama. The first one that I remember was about shaving a wizard. The court trial took half an hour. Half a fucking hour. And it ended with everyone except one person, the jury, voting guilty. And because one person voted not guilty, the judge is just like, well, he's free. And the best part about that round is that the riot control gear got pulled out for its express purpose for the first time in Goonstation history, to stop a riot.
Wow.
It was awesome. So anytime there's a court drama on Goonstation, I am there, I am watching, because it's usually really funny.
I'll have to keep that in mind.
They're pretty rare, though.
I can understand. So what do you say is the best sort of player for your station and community?
I think you kind of nailed it earlier. The best sort of player is a mad fucking scientist who's willing to play it straight and make a little bit of fun. So there's an unwritten rule amongst the Goonstation administration. It's something I abide by. I don't know about the other folks, but it's more of like, it's kind of that rule of funny factor. If you manage to kill half of the station trying to do something really fucking funny as a non-antagonist and are completely upfront honest about it afterwards, we'll celebrate your discovery. We'll turn on OOC, out of character channel. We'll tell everyone what you did. We'll have you let your moment in, the spotlight, and then we'll tell you to never ever fucking do it again.
Okay.
But in that moment, we're with you. You did something amazing that we've never seen before. A fucking plus.
So if you break the rules, but it's hilarious.
Yes, that's it. Well, I
It
mean, it's a different kind of hilarious. Like if it's if it's like balls to the walls, no one has ever seen this before,
yeah,
you're off scot-free.
just because it's very goony.
Yes, like there's I did this a long time ago when I was a normal player. I did a thing called Garbage Day. I rerouted
Garbage day.
Garbage Day. And what I did is that I rerouted all of the disposals tubes to the disposals crusher, and then
Oh,
surrounded it with reinforced walls. But I left just enough space for everyone to, kind of try and run up the treadmill, which was, forced to go down towards the crusher.
yeah.
So the good news is that people were screaming over the radio, being like, "Help, let me out. Oh my God." And then people were pushing over other people just so they could live a little bit longer and not go into the crusher. I got admin helped about that as a non-trader. I was told to never do it again, but everyone had a really good laugh and I didn't get banned, so that's a miracle in itself.
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of see that in the essence of Goonstation, where there
Hmm.
is a certain level of madness, but it's allowable and expected.
Within a certain tolerance level, yeah.
Of course, of course.
Like that was a one-off thing I did.
Well, right. What is your favorite event and why?
So I used to run these things called Day of Destiny. Day of
Oh,
Destiny was basically Space Station 13 story mode.
hmm.
So the best way to describe, so you know how it's like being an admin gives you a chance to do storytelling, right? You get to make the
Right.
story of a round. You get to do crazy antics, random events, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
What if every Space Station 13 round had a plot? A general plot to follow that's like laid from the outset. Players are selected for specific roles to act out.
Right.
So that's what the Day of Destiny was. It had 3 seasons. Each season had 3 episodes. Each episode had its own self-contained plot. It was like the Outer Limits, that sort of thing.
Okay. I follow.
Yeah. My favorite one that I ever ran was called Mayday. Mayday was the story of. So the NSS Destiny is basically a recommissioned exploration vessel wandering past the frontier being the other side of the channel, and I'm just kind of obsessing about Goonstation lore at this point, so I'm going to stop there. Essentially, the story starts with an important Nanotrasian executive just wandering about the NSS Destiny.
Right.
However, I've already pre-prepared something on the same Z level. I pre-prepared a like falling apart shuttle plus partially decommissioned station. Now there's a thing that's going on over on the shuttle and station. I've recruited a bunch of players beforehand as hard mode antagonists and changelings. I tell them the story up front. I say, here's the deal. Something terrible happened on your last station.
Mm-hmm.
Some of you are hard mode traders. Your express objective is to foment paranoia amongst the crew. You aren't, supposed to kill any of the crew. You're just supposed to make everyone not trust one another. See
Okay,
the other
so
people
like
around
the
you?
thing.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. It was the thing in space.
Excellent.
Except, and then I make some of them changelings and say, okay, these are the hard mode antagonists. Hard mode antagonists. This is your goal. Create paranoia. Changelings. You're the changelings. You know who the hard mode antagonists are, so try not to eat them. They've got a role to be playing, but don't necessarily work with them. Changelings, do what you do best. The round took 2 hours. It was a spectacular success. I'm very happy with it because we managed to do something in Goonstation, which is very hard to achieve in Space Station 13 otherwise, which is true horror.
I've seen some of the stuff you've done on the main the big server where you had some shit going around for Halloween that was pretty much dead space and it was horrifyingly atmospheric.
See, that's the thing about Space Station 13. It's this wonderful tool that it's like a wet dream for a dungeon master, right?
Yeah.
Instead of having to work with other people's imaginations, yourself included, you already get all the set pieces. all the players get to viscerally be in the game and are entirely dependent upon their own skill and knowledge as opposed to some, detached pair of dice.
Right. They have
I
to have
mean,
their own
yes,
dice.
or if they have to have their own luck in game, that
Right.
sort of thing.
I understand. So,
Yeah.
what is your least favorite event?
Uh, it's the best way I can answer this is the events that I fuck up.
Ah,
There's an event that was called Code Blue. It was one of the episodes of Day of Destiny. I fucked it up horribly. There's a button in game called Get All Mobs. We'll get to that one in a moment. Code Blue was essentially the story of a nanotrajan special operative team being called into the NSS Destiny for a random reason, but their
mm-hmm.
ultimate goal was to actually set off a nuke.
Oh,
So they were the good guys, but they were here to nuke the station. They were just reskin syndicates. The problem, so they had their own shuttle. It pulled up right beside, it pulled up right beside the NSS Destiny. They docked, that sort of thing. But I had to get the NTSO operatives on board, and I fucked up by accidentally pushing the Get All Mobs button. And when you get all mobs, you literally get all mobs. And in a spectacular moment, every single mob on the map all coalesced into one point on a very small shuttle. It was bad.
yeah.
Event ruined.
I could imagine. I could
There
imagine.
was no point. I just immediately restarted the round and cried.
It's okay. I
I
can
know
get that.
this is a safe space.
It is. I like
Yes,
to think my interviews are pretty well insulated, or socially lubricated. Pardon one
insulated.
moment.
They're very well conducted.
Whiskey.
Heyo.
So, what is they do pop up from time to time? What is your opinion on nations rounds?
So I know that we had an admin login who was really big on nations rounds, and I'm gonna be honest, I absolutely fucking detest the idea of nations. It's basically just an average round, except everyone is more insular and paranoid than ever before. There's
Right.
there's there's no point to a nations round. There's only one server who has done nations fairly well, and that's Colonial Marines with the tribes round mode.
Well, I would like to think that on TG, I have led the glorious nation of Cargonia to victory on at least one occasion, with my mighty knights and steed named Jerry, which was a mule bot, but I digress.
But there's multiple, like, each department has its own strength, right? But there's such vast power differences between various departments that it just doesn't work out in the end. In the end, for example, security just becomes Shitler paradise and they just enforce the law. With tribes, people all start equally. It's about whatever shit you can find on the ground and
True.
who you ultimately team up with. It's like a battle royale. Everyone's equal. It's about the shit you find and who you find to fight with.
True. I
Yeah.
mean, it's fun to shit talk as Cargonia and so on, but I do get your point. At
Mhm.
least with tribes, it's all about what resources you can find and what skills you have versus the
Mhm.
relative strength of your inherent department.
Exactly.
So, what is your favorite role to play?
Captain,
What is your least favorite role to play?
chemist.
Why are our prayers never answered?
Two reasons. Turns out prayers are off by default when I join a round and I forget to turn them on.
Okay,
And number
that's
two, your prayers are all shit.
okay. No,
Well, I
I'll
mean,
take that
like,
as an answer. I
some people
That's a
have
valid
absolutely
answer.
incredible. Some people have incredible prayers. Like, they will request the greatest things, and it's just like, I have to give this to you. And other people will be like, please God, let me have 10 space bucks or a gun. And it's just like, no, that's not creative. I mean, if someone really wants to request something, they'll just admin help it. And
Yeah,
I mean, yes, that's an abuse of the admin help rule, the admin help channel, but yeah.
I agree. I agree.
It's like Bruce Almighty. What happened when you answered everyone's prayers?
Everything goes to shit.
Correct.
So, as an admin, how often do you press buttons?
Every round. Every round I push buttons. Every
What?
single one.
Every single button?
Every every single round, not every single button. See,
I was just going to say.
remember that part of the interview where I said don't do anything I would do?
Right.
No. But more seriously, one of my favorite things to do as admin is to watch a round unfold and to give the right instruments to someone at the right time. You have that discrete power to play God and influence someone's story
Well,
subtly.
yes, I understand what you're saying. I mean, just
So I push buttons.
yeah. I mean, it's about pushing the right ones.
Yes.
One of the things I found hilarious is I recorded this round. I was playing on Goonstation, and they opened up the slots. They closed the slots for all jobs but cook. And so all these people kept joining, and they kept being cooks. And then people started complaining, there's too many cooks. And the admin said, too many cooks, question mark, and started playing that song.
Too many cooks, too many cooks.
And it just, I was like, oh my God. It takes a lot
to make a stew.
Yeah, I know. It was just, I was like, this is Goonstation. This is what happens here.
Those kind of rounds can be incredible if you, I mean, yes, it's too many cooks, but we have had some absolutely incredible rounds where we've, limited or made tons of jobs. For example, what is it called? We reenacted the Stanford experiment. The Stanford prison experiment, where it's, assistance and security. Right. Turns out it doesn't work in Goonstation. Everyone gets along just fine. So take that, Zimbardo.
Yeah, I mean, take that, science.
Yeah.
So what would you say is the most rewarding part of being an admin?
The absolute most rewarding part of being an admin is storytelling.
Okay.
Back when I was a player, my literal most favorite thing ever were gimmicks. Having a point to the round, having a gimmick going on. So, as you probably can very obviously tell, I played a lot of pen and paper RPGs back in university. Spacestation 13 is the perfect medium because you have all the tools you need to make a kick-ass campaign in a very unconventional sense.
Right. So, I get that. I get that. So, I have to ask, what is the best role to play antagonist and why?
Ooh. That's classified.
No. Just in your opinion,
that's classified. I can't tell you. The Solarium nerds will know.
Oh, I see. Understood.
Mm-hmm. They haven't found that yet. Shit.
All right. If you could say one thing to new players as they entered your station, what would it be?
Don't be afraid.
So the Arthur Dent warning.
Well, yeah. Actually. I mean, for example, don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to go out of the way and actually attempt to roleplay, because people are usually receptive if you actually try. And don't be afraid when things get really fucking weird. I mean, it's not necessarily don't be afraid, just be careful. Don't let Elmo in if he's knocking on the window. Don't be scared, but don't let him in.
So that is your tip is to refuse Elmo, but to not be afraid.
Correct. Fear is the mind killer.
Yes, it is a wise Bene Gesserit teaching. I have to ask, why was Elmo on Goonstation? How did that come to be?
Elmo is a fun, friendly character that everyone should be happy to play with, and he has a very joyful laugh.
I understand that, but in the context of Goonstation...
I should introduce you to Elmo sometime, my friend. We'll have a lot of fun together.
See, this...
It's okay, Tex. Don't be afraid.
Okay.
Don't be afraid.
I will say yes and.
It's a more of a Pope Crunch thing.
I've been on the receiving end of Pope's madness, and I'm looking forward to interviewing him.
That's going to be a special kind of madness, my friend.
Oh, yeah, no. He once spawned Mike Tyson that chased me down the hallways and punched me to death. He's... He put me in a box of unbreakable stuff and spawned 500 clones in there with me. So it was just constant, insane, overlapping laughter. And then he says, "Hold on, I got this," and spawned 500 Yetis to kill them. And then he tried to figure out how to kill the Yetis, and he says, "IDK, how kill Yetis? Bees, question mark." And then he started spawning these explosives, and the server started lagging. And then he teleported me to space, and I almost died. Then he teleported me to the hallway. And then I was run over by a janitor filled with acid. So it was an interesting experience.
Welcome to Goonstation. Enjoy your stay.
All right. I have some Goonstation specific questions for you.
Oh,
sir.
no.
You may have some of your sody pop. I'm going to drink some more of this adult beverage. Whiskey. So, I have to ask, what in the fuck is with your goddamn monkeys? You understand that from here to infinity, goon monkeys are known as something with which, under no circumstances, shall you fuck.
Have you ever watched the documentary known as Planet of the Apes?
I have seen Planet of the Apes, yes.
Yeah, it's a good documentary. So that's the lesson there. Don't fuck with monkeys. Monkeys won't fuck with you. They'll try to steal your stuff.
Yes, but I was wondering why and how they came to be these monsters.
Goonstation is about realism. Have you ever punched a monkey?
No, I do not have the metrics for monkey assault.
Ergo, we go for realism here on Goonstation, so don't punch monkeys.
You're telling me that the goons sat around and were watching TV perhaps one late last night. And,
yeah, we usually call it the Dong Lab Center.
Okay, at the Dong Lab Center, you were watching television, and you watched perhaps where that ape that was in some commercials got into a fisticuffs with its owner and tore her face off, and then like fought a policeman, and he had to shoot it like 20 times. I mean, that's what you base the apes off of.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Monkeys are scary. They're dangerous creatures. It's a reminder that they shouldn't be fucked with.
Okay.
So be careful out there, spaceman.
Okay. I just had to understand that. So
I know.
Okay. No. I follow. So what the fuck happened to CogMap 2?
What do you mean what happened to it?
Where is it? I like it.
We have a map rotation system, bro. You want me to turn it on right now?
No, I'm good. I'm interviewing you. I'm a little busy. It was there for a while, and I started to really like it, and then it wasn't there as much, and I had people ask me what happened to CogMap 2.
CogMap 2 is one of those maps that work better with a higher population count. So from time to time, we'll switch it to like CogMap 1, we'll switch it back to CogMap 2, and then every once in a blue moon, we'll usually switch it to one of the older stations like Mushroom Station or Donut 2 if we feel particularly sadistic.
I was told by Mr. Dions that
Mr.
there
Dions.
was a laser, a PTL laser that was once put on Destiny.
Yes.
And that the reason that this was put on Destiny and the location it was placed was to simply fuck with genetics. Is this a true statement?
It probably is, in all honesty. In fact, the PTL laser got removed because it was between medical and security. And one of the things that always happened is that there would always be tremendous amounts of miscommunication. One of the things that we have kind of established in Goonstation lore is that Nanotrazen has never heard of work safety.
Well,
So a PTO laser fires straight across the hallway from engineering and security in that hallway where you would access medical otherwise.
right.
So yeah, fuck genetics. Because they're a bunch of nerds who just sit in front of computers for literally hours on end, just ignoring everything around them.
Okay.
Might be a reason why monkeys are so powerful.
Yeah, I'm getting that now. Okay, so I also have to ask, because my fan base asked me to ask this. Tell me the story of Poop and Goonstation.
Oh, I'm really glad you asked.
All right.
I used to be one of those players who would literally poop everywhere. I would deliberately eat as much food as my player character could. I would poop on the floor, and then I would do this very clever thing, which is I would eat my own poop because you would get diarrhea, and so you would be able to generate poop without issue. Now, is something wrong? This is a very serious interview, Tex. I'm discussing poop here.
I'm sorry. It's just, I remember the old shit days on Goonstation where there was a friend of mine. I told him, about this great game I discovered. And he says, well, how do I play it? And I said, well, this was years ago. And I said, oh, here's how you get on and make a character and da-da-da. And he makes a character on Goon. He's like, oh, yeah, I made a guy. Oh, I'm going to be this guy who's a tourist on the station. I got a character concept. And he gets off. And as soon as he gets off, there's a clown. And the clown squats down and just shits all over the floor. And then picks it up and eats it. And then honks the horn slowly and walks off. And then he just looked at me slowly and says, are you fucking kidding me?
I take it all back. Captain is not the best role. It's either tourist or clown. It's actually clown. Clown is the best role in the game. Any server, clown is the best.
Oh, God.
On that note, I did want to add something on that. Poo used to be an incredible weapon. It used to be one of the most powerful weapons in the game. The reason why... So imagine you're running down a hallway.
This is the most excited and animated you've been the whole interview.
My friend, poo has a very special place in my heart. It used to be fundamental to my gameplay.
No, please continue. I'm just very amused by this, and it took me back when I remembered my friend.
I might have been that clown.
You may have. You may very... I mean, he quit. He's never touched it again. He was like, I'm not playing Shit Simulator.
I mean, that's kind of like Space Station 13. Try not to touch the poop.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I mean, let's talk about this in terms of like sheer strategic value. Imagine you're being chased by security. What are your options? Run.
Well, yeah.
Hide. Fight. But you have no weapons. You have nowhere to hide. And if you keep running, you can't stop. What if I told you you could do all three?
Oh my God.
Imagine. So one of the things about Goonstation is that back in the day, if you ripped off your suit, held it in your hand, and made sure to pick up your stuff afterwards. Well, not immediately, but if you ripped off your suit and pooped on the floor, you would leave behind a poop smear and a piece of poop. But the thing about that poop smear is that it was slippery. Right. So imagine there's a security guy running after you. He's got tunnel vision. He's focusing on you. He doesn't notice the poop smear on the ground. He falls. His taser falls out of his hand.
Right.
You have the perfect opportunity to grab the taser.
Turn the tide, as it were.
That's right. So now, not only are you a shit bandit, but you're a shit bandit with a gun. Poo used to be an absolutely incredible weapon.
So, before I interrupted you with my tittering, you said that your whole strategy was to eat poop after stuffing yourself, and then diarrhea. And
it was a thing to do, yes.
Why give yourself diarrhea?
Because there's something really funny about covering everything in shit. It's like that scene from Dumb and Dumber. Oh my God, there's shit on the walls.
Well, yeah, I'm just wondering if there's like a grand strategy, or is it no, poop's fun? And
poo is funny. I mean, but I'm actually legitimately glad that poo is gone, because it's like scientists, right? It's when they you start with Marie Curie, discovering radiation, whatever.
And then you have discovering how to die from radiation.
Exactly.
Exposure. Right.
And then people start uncovering the secrets, and then eventually you have Oppenheimer being like, "We are high and become death," right? The same thing happened on Goon. Exactly. Now, this is a story I remember. So on Donut 2, it used to be a long, continuous, unending hallway, right?
Yeah.
Imagine if someone crafted a weapon of mass destruction based on poo. Imagine
a weapon of ass destruction.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Also high fives. But imagine this is why I hate chemistry, by the way. Chemistry has the most power in the game because of what they were able to do.
Right.
They had this ability to make infinite smoke and infinite foam.
Right.
You could combine that with poo. so you could have infinite poo smoke. The thing about Donut 2 is that it was an infinite loop, right? So
Yes.
imagine, eventually, for example, poo in a room can eventually contain itself with the infinite smoke. But this is an unending hallway that's a circle. Imagine the server coming to a standstill because of an infinite shit wave.
And cue the Mr. Leahy impersonation.
Oh yeah, it's like the shit hawk. It just never ended.
It's the shit NATO ran.
Yes. It was fucking terrible. I mean, it was really funny, but when the server came to a grinding halt every fucking time someone made a shit grenade, it was
Yeah.
time for it to go. Sorry, you took me back to a better time.
I know a simpler time where men were men and poop was poop.
A simpler time when men just shit on the floor for fun.
Yeah, no. I mean, Goonstation is a mad place, and I can't describe it well enough. So I'm very thankful to have the opportunity to speak with admins, so people don't just think I'm making this up.
It's true. He paid me $50 to do this, guys.
I don't have that kind of money. So, here's another good question, not relating to scatological coprophilia. So tell me, what inspired your various interesting telescience locations?
So this, I cannot take any credit whatsoever. This was the work of a lot of admins from behind the scenes. And as I said, Space Station 13 is a great theater to tell stories. While other servers put up massive, backstories and
Yeah.
tidbit lore on wiki pages, Goonstation had a different philosophy. We said, why don't we turn it into something that's a puzzle, something that's part of a greater mystery, something that's, insane, something that's fun, something to unravel, something to prove that Space Station 13 is actually the safest place in the universe. So the philosophy here is show, don't tell. If you want to find out about the history of how nanotrazen went into space or things about plasma, go to the Moon Museum. Go on a tour with a little robot who will show you around and tell you what happened on the moon in 1969 and what the Apollo program found there. Spoiler alert, it was plasma.
Oh.
So that's one of the things about Goonstation, for example. The year is 2053. The year will always be 2053. And then for example, you can go to a lot of weird things happen in the adventure zones. You kind of have to learn ancient Sumerian, and you kind of have to learn how to, fundamentally understand the ins and outs of the game. It kind of leads into that whole thing where I said Goonstation is about creation and collaboration. Solarium wasn't solved by just one person. It was solved by a united effort by the players to uncover keys, adventure through adventure zones, figure out puzzles for themselves, decrypt fucking sound files to turn into images, stuff like that.
So a proper alternate reality game.
Yes. And that is where we've where we've hidden most of our backstory. It's very rich, it's very in depth. It's just waiting to be found.
So, folks out there listening, one of the reasons why I like Goonstation is all the wonderful things you can discover. So, the next question I have for you, sir: clown or mime?
There's no debate. It's clown.
Okay.
It's the clown is the quintessential goon role. It's your chance to be the funny man of the round. You can do amazing things as a clown. Like hell, Chips Ahoy became a legend by being a clown. Donald Keys became a legend by becoming a clown. Clown is one of those roles where you have a unique sort of power without being an antagonist.
Right. You're allowed to antagonize.
Exactly. Well, I mean, not kill people, but push them over, honk at them, fart in them, and then run away.
Yeah.
It's great.
So, I also have to ask you, Who is or was Shitty Bill?
That is classified and I cannot comment. You can
Okay.
call him if you want, by the way, if you want answers.
All
Just
right.
his number is up on the bathroom wall. Call him for a good time. I'm not
I
even
mean,
kidding. You
so
can
you've
literally call, spoiler alert, you can literally call Shitty Bill and leave a message.
that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So how what is the story of Dr. Floor Pills?
I
I've
think
found his
his C
statue on a.
key is Sartorius 7, if I remember correctly. That's his C key. Spoiler alert. Um, there's that's the thing kind of about Goonstation. There's no such thing as special snowflakes. There's only personalities and legends. There are
Right.
so many personalities and legends who have come and gone. Like I already mentioned Chips Ahoy. I've already mentioned Donald Keys. There's so many more out there. Each one had a very distinct personality. So I mean, like Dr. Floorpills, brilliant chemist. He actually did a cosplay of Space Station 13 in real life of his character, which has blue and red clown hair and an afro.
I
Pretty
see.
cool. Ask him about it sometime.
I may have to.
Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of tying into that whole Space Station 13 is about making stories. Remember, players can become stories. It's like Cube and Pete, to make reference to other servers,
Oh yes. Oh yes. Or George Mellons.
who used to be a Goonstation player.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. He migrated to many and did damage to many.
I don't know the story on that front, so when you
He
say did damage, ooh,
Well, there is the amusing anecdote that if you get brain damage on TG station, one of the things your characters can say from a pre-selected pool is "Help! George Mellons is griffing me." Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So it shows that players have become part of the greater fabric of the game.
What other game can you think of does that?
Yeah, it's aside from many games nowadays pulling YouTubers and Twitch people out for a voice role or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a game that really, and even then it's just for something small. It's kind of like a little wink or something like that. It's
It's
not
an Easter egg. Yeah.
yeah, but it's not like Space Station 13 where the person is immortalized. There is a statue of Dr. Floorpills, which I believe is radioactive.
So, I mean, that's kind of one of the things that I was mentioning earlier. One of the biggest challenges with Space Station 13 is that you can never replicate it because it doesn't have, you can't replicate that cultural inertia that eventually builds up over time where players become personalities, personalities become legends, and legends carry on despite players, eventually moving on to different servers.
Yeah, no, I understand that. It's a very good memorial because you have to ask yourself is no one really knows how long they may live or how long they may play games or what may happen in their life, but to be immortalized by something you did to make people laugh and remember you in a game you enjoyed and shared with other people is just it's really touching in a way.
You made a story, and that's the point of Space Station 13.
You have become immortal at least as long as that server runs.
Well, yeah. And over time, legends do fade. Look upon my works in despair, etc., etc.
Ozymandias, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So we've reached the end of the interview. Do you have anything you want to communicate to the Space Station 13 community?
Oh, no,
Shoutouts, apocalyptic warnings, requests, or so on. The time is yours.
okay. One, don't bring back poo.
Okay.
Despite my absolute enthusiasm for poo, it should literally just be that. A legend and nothing more.
A legend from a simpler time.
From a simpler time, yeah. Number two is don't be afraid. When I say don't be afraid to try new things. Don't be afraid to try out new things on Goonstation, for example. Let me just do a shameless plug right now. Because as I said, Goonstation is about zany, wacky fun. If you want to play the straight man, go for it. You want to be a mad scientist? Go for it. You want to, have a great time role-playing and establishing a character, go for it. Goonstation has a fucking role-playing server, guys. The main rule there is have fun and just try to roleplay. We're not regulating the roleplay that you could not do. It's just try.
Yeah. I can appreciate that. Also, don't let Elmo in.
You can let Elmo in if you really, really want. Also, the channel is safe. That's another important thing I needed to pass on. The channel is safe.
The channel is safe.
The channel is safe.
All right. Well, this has been another interview. I must thank you, Mr. Bill, Maestro Bill, shit person.
Shit person.
Not shit man. Shit person.
Shit guy, my friend. Shit guy.
Shit guy.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah.
I did not mean to impugn your honor.
No props.
All right. Thank you for joining me.
No worries, man. Peace.